How long does it take to develop an online course? Have you been working on your online course for what feels like an eternity? Let me show you the #1 key to estimating the timeline you need to set aside for creating your online course. And if you want your course creation to set you up for success from the start, you need to ask yourself these 4 questions that we're going to tackle later in today's video. And I don't want you falling victim to the same old course creation mistakes. Make sure to stay to the end of this video and I'll tell you the biggest mistakes to avoid when creating your course. Here's the #1 key to estimating the time to create your online course. Listen, it can be super easy or quick if you've already established the framework, but if you're building from scratch, it can be more time consuming to build out those frameworks. And here's the thing, over time, you might want to create more content. You might get questions from your audience and think, oh yeah, let me add that in there. So the best thing that you can do is have an outline and be able to speak to the baseline, like the foundation of that, but also know that your content may evolve. If you can reverse engineer the outcome of that and create the first few pieces of the content that your audience needs to see success, and maybe you decide, okay, it's gonna take me a day to script all of this and a day to film all of that, then you can have a good timeline to know how long is it gonna take for everything to come to completion. I would recommend overestimating because sometimes when you're in creation mode, especially for me and for most entrepreneurs and visionaries, we get ideas that then we follow this thread and get more ideas. So it's always safe to overestimate so that you have enough time. Now, hearing that, I want to hear from you. Do you already have your frameworks established, or are you starting from scratch or somewhere in between? And while we're on that topic, let me know, what are your frameworks about? What is your topic of expertise? You never know, maybe someone in our comments could be looking for something that you provide. So be sure to comment and let us know what your course will be about. Now, if you want your course to be set up for success, there are 4 questions that you need to ask yourself to get started with that course creation. The first one is, do you know your customer avatar? I used to hate customer avatar exercises, like the question about, you know, what's keeping them up at night and what kind of magazines do they read? I used to hate it until finally going through that exercise changed my business. It is so important to know the nitty-gritty, the ins and outs, the fine-tuned details about who your customer avatar is, because if you're speaking to the wrong avatar, which I realized I was for the longest time, I was like trying to teach university but speaking to kindergarten. I need to know exactly who my customer avatar is so that I can create the content that appeals to them most, and so do you. So make sure that you know that so that the content you're creating is attracting the right person and also repelling the wrong person. The second question to ask yourself when you're creating your course is, do you know what kind of frequently asked questions your audience is asking? What's the solution that they need? What are the things that they're looking to you for your expertise? Now, you can actually create, one of the things that I have in my business, I would recommend that everyone has, is a Google spreadsheet with all the questions that you get. That way, you know, you can just refer to that document. What are the biggest things that people are asking me questions about? What are the things that maybe I wish that I knew, that someone could have come into my life years ago and answered this for me? And if you can start there in creating your content, knowing exactly who your customer avatar is and what kind of questions they're asking, what solutions they're looking for, that's a great place to create your content from. The third question to ask yourself when creating your course is, do you have the platform to host it? We create all of our content. We create all of our courses inside of ClickFunnels and Members Pro, which I'll give you a link to check out below because it has been a game changer and is incredible for user friendliness. I know that when I'm in a course platform, I don't want to be confused by the technical stuff, and I love Members Pro for that. I use ClickFunnels for the sales funnel to sell my courses and Members Pro to host it. So it would be great for you to figure out ahead of time, what's the technical stuff that I need? What kind of platform am I using to sell it on? What kind of platform am I using to host the courses on? Am I going to use Facebook for Facebook groups, for community engagement? Think of that ahead of time so that you can have the plan for when you launch. The fourth question to ask yourself is, do you have the ability to outsource? Do you want to outsource? For example, if copywriting isn't your superpower, maybe you can outsource this. If you need to edit videos and you don't want to edit them yourself, maybe you can find a video editor to be able to help you with editing the course content. Same thing with funnel building or some of the marketing strategy or Facebook ads. Think of all the things that are going to be required in creating this course and look at your superpowers and the things that maybe cause some constraint for you. Do what you do best, and if you have the ability, outsource the rest. Now, before we get into the 2 biggest mistakes in creating your course, I want to help you avoid that problem from the get-go. Have you subscribed to this channel yet? Hit that red button below to get brand new content marketing strategies, business acceleration tips, and more straight to your YouTube feed 5 days a week. Here's the 2 biggest mistakes to avoid when creating your course. I have fallen prey to this. The first one is not knowing how you want to present your online course. You want to plan the parameters first. Is it a walkthrough or tutorial based? Is it more interactive? Does it have a members platform or just a Facebook group? And also make sure that you have a clear outline of how you are presenting this content. It's not just a brain dump of information. You're not just like verbal vomiting all over them. Give them an outline, give them a success path so that they can actually have an outcome from your course. There's a fine line between over-delivering and overwhelming, and more often than not, keeping it simple is going to give them the best results. The second biggest mistake is setting it and forgetting it. You should be constantly updating your course and continuing to nurture your audience inside of it. I know that a lot of people might think if I create an online course, it's just passive income. If you build it, they will come. No, false. Get that out of your brain right now. You're not setting it and forgetting it. You may be automating and accelerating it, but make sure that you're always engaging with your audience. You're communicating with them, you're nurturing them, you're helping them, you're giving them the feedback that they need. You're getting the feedback from them because maybe they have advice for how you can make the program even better. Make sure that you're open to that constant feedback so that you can create constant improvements. I'll tell you, for me, one of my first courses I ever created, I was in that place of thinking, hey, if I create a course, passive income, I'll build it, they'll come, it'll be great, I'll just have money flying in all the time. Wrong. I created a program all about video marketing. And these are the strategies that I've been using for my clients who pay me 6 figures a year to help them grow their YouTube channels and build 6, 7, and 8 figure businesses. So I thought, great, people would love to have that in a course. But the problem was I didn't know how to market it. I didn't know how to create a success path for my audience. I didn't know how to gamify or incentivize my audience to actually take action. So what I promoted just to my email list, and I did some webinars, was just this like buffet of content. It was like a Netflix of marketing material with just here it is, figure it out. And that's overwhelming for your audience, especially when they want to invest in a result. People aren't going to invest emotionally or financially unless they can see the vision of what it's going to create for them. So I had to learn that the hard way. And eventually I did create a success path, but I still overcomplicated it. It was like, you have to do this, and then you 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 do this, and then too many steps. People want the fastest path to cash. People want the fastest path to the result that they are investing in. So then over time, I realized that, and I realized that I was trying to over deliver, but I was overwhelming. So I simplified it, made it 4 simple steps, and I also gamified it, which was really fun to say, hey, there's some parts of this that are gonna be difficult, but when you do that, I'm gonna give you this t-shirt, I'm gonna give you these pins, I'm gonna give you these trophies and awards. So in addition to the success path, there was also an awards and rewards path to motivate them towards the result that they invested in. If you're looking for more strategies to explode your monthly revenue and effortlessly ascend even brand new audience members to your high ticket courses, I want to invite you to my private training. It's called Hello to High Ticket, and I'm teaching you 3 of my cash flow systems that will actually teach you how to create and ascend leads all the way from hello to high ticket. Because if you're going to be creating online courses, they may as well be high ticket. You're going to love it. So click the link below, get your private invitation today.